Hi, I'm Emma Clayton and this is Buddy. I am a leadership coach and mentor for corporate career women who are struggling behind the scenes with imposter syndrome and feelings of not being quite good enough, even though on the surface they seem to have success. I left school at 18, got a job, worked my way up and around in the same organisation over the next 20 years. I would say with my increasing responsibility, my anxiety and my feelings of just not feeling quite up to it grew. It was probably when I turned 30. I'll tell this story about being in Tenerife with my girlfriends. My mum and my sister were there. We were having like a lovely time. I was getting ready for this night out that we were having, and there was lots of love and laughter and fun, and the music was getting going, and I looked in the mirror and couldn't have felt any more miserable in that moment. And I just thought, wow, something has got to change. And I think what had happened was I'd spent my 20s in a bit of self-destruct. Food became a real crutch to me, but also like something that just really wasn't helpful. So I got into diet culture very young, yo-yo dieted through my whole teens and 20s. Body image was at an all-time low when I turned 30. I was my heaviest ever. I had just taken on a role where I was leading a new team. I was having a hard time feeling accepted because of kind of my approach to things. So I was learning the hard way in a new leadership role about how to really show up as myself and not with a mask, but actually feeling like that wasn't good enough. So it was at that moment on my 30th birthday that I thought, wow, something's got to change. I just knew there had to be a better way to think and feel about myself. And so I kind of vowed to myself through my tears that something had to change, and that I couldn't repeat history in my 30s. And that was really the start of my journey. I learned a lot of lessons along the way, and I'm 41 now. So a couple of pivotal kind of moments were probably the first time I walked into a therapist's room. I think I was 33, 34. So it took me a while to get there. I dabbled with a few more diets and realised I cannot seem to stick to a diet for one, then keep the weight off for two. I was remembering Googling, how can I lose weight and stick to it? And up popped this local therapist who specialised in weight related, food related kind of issues. So I went along to my first appointment, and after a tear fueled hour speaking and sort of bearing my soul, which I've never really done, especially not to a stranger before, she told me that I didn't need to see her about my relationship with food, but I needed to see her about my low self-esteem, my lack of trust, and anxiety, at which I was performing at a really high level with this generalised anxiety disorder. And that was kind of a shock to me, because I'd been brought up thinking I'm not susceptible to mental health challenges. And I can actually remember having that thought, or even having that conversation with a friend, which in hindsight I realise is totally naive. So that was a real eye-opener to me. And I was like, I kind of resisted it a little bit, because I was like, it's not anxiety, it's just nerves. But like, it's you have anxiety and you need to start to respect those symptoms of it. So that sort of was the first kind of real pivotal moment where I started to tune into what was going on, how I was responding to things, the thoughts that I was thinking when I was in certain situations. So, you know, getting a phone call from a senior manager that would have normally made me feel like I wanted the ground to open up and swallow me whole. That really made me tune into, okay, well, what's the thoughts? How are you feeling about it? And how are you reacting to it? The disconnection between how I was thinking and feeling and what I actually said was huge. And it was like, this is not right. Something's got to give. I also started working with a health coach. The promise there, I guess, was, you know, come and find a lifestyle. It's not a diet, it's not a quick fix, but it should be a sustainable way to live your life and to lose weight and to maintain it. But I did it. Jumped in, massive leap of faith. Then I got my last promotion. It was one I'd been pushing and striving for 5 years. With that came a new commute to London. Out of the window went my CrossFit, out the window went my nutrition, and up went my anxiety. And imposter syndrome was smacked me in the face. I think then I really kind of got what that was. There's me interviewing people with 3 PhDs to come and join our new team and feeling completely inferior because I left school at 18, didn't go to university, didn't get a degree, and here I am offering jobs to these people. And we're just surrounded by people with loads of ideas, and I'm just thinking, I don't have anything valuable to say, and I'm shrinking more and more into my shell in this role, very aware that I'm doing it and not wanting to come across as I'm not performing well, because I'd always prided myself on how I performed. I turned up to a meeting and didn't tell them what they wanted to hear. I actually went into my shell and actually didn't get out of bed for a week because I felt like I'd failed and thought I was gonna, someone at some point is gonna sweep in and say, you never really deserved this job in the beginning, did you? And let me take it all away from you. And that actually started me gaining weight because I turned to food. I found out just before I went on a 4-week trip to Asia and then on to Bali for a yoga retreat with my health coach that I was going to be put at risk of redundancy. And whilst I would have previously thought that could have been the worst case scenario for me, I actually had this little voice inside me that said, hold the faith, because this is going to be good. This is a good thing. This is good timing. I had a week away on a yoga retreat with like-minded people who had helped me with my kind of journey of changing my mindset and really helping with managing anxiety and overcoming some of those deeply rooted feelings of not good enough. It just came to me at that point, you need to take the redundancy and you need to go and help other women who, like you, have been struggling their entire life with putting on this mask of fake confidence and showing to their family and friends that they're successful but are actually dying a little bit inside. So I came back, said I'm going to take it, which was a big surprise to a lot of people, my family included, who were very concerned about, the lack of income and how can you make it on your own and that kind of thing. But I just knew, I just had this knowing and this certainty inside that it was exactly what I needed to do. It was my chance to recreate myself and take all my lessons and take my passion for growth and learning and growing and developing and evolving into the person that I think I came here to be. Allow yourself to explore a little what that desire really is from the ideal life that you get to lead, because we get to create that reality in our lives. So yeah, I'm passionate about helping that career woman that I was, who is struggling behind the scenes, to really decondition and unlearn all these programs around not being good enough because you don't conform to a certain standard, and actually get to know who they really are at a core and start to learn to love themselves, know they're good enough, and then create the life and career that they desire.